My name is Chad, and as part of my Petroleum Computations Method class, our week 6 assignment is to figure out this problem here, is to figure out how many barrels will this cylindrical tank actually be able to hold. And just to give you an idea of what these tanks actually look like. This is one here, this is a propane tank. But we're not going to be putting propane in our tank, we're going to be putting oil. So that's why I want to figure out how many barrels we can put in there. And the two formulas I'm going to be using is the formula for a sphere and the formula for a cylinder. The reason why I'm going to use a sphere, because I'm going to go out on a limb and say that, or assume that if I would cut this tank here and use this portion, and then cut this tank here at this red line and use this portion and take these two parts and put them together, I'm going to get a sphere. And our formula for a sphere, to figure out what the volume of a sphere is, volume equals 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. So let's go ahead and use that formula and figure out the volume of our sphere. And I'm going to go ahead and type this in. And I'm going to type it just like the book. It'll be 4 times pi. Pi is equal to our pi. And if you know anything about algebra, it's going to be 3.1414. Got to get it right. 16 times our radius cubed. Now, what is the radius of our sphere? The radius is basically the center of our sphere out to the outer edge. And if this is our sphere of these two parts, easy. From the center to the edge is 7 feet. So it'd be 7 cubed. 7 cubed is, and I'm going to go ahead and spell it out, 7 times 7 times 7. All right? And then all of that is going to be divided by 3. All right, so because basically we take the 4 and just take this divided by 3 and just put it at the end and just plug in numbers. So let's go ahead and do some math and figure this out. Volume equals 4 times 3.1416, which is pi, times 7 times 7 times 7, which is 343. And all of this will be divided by 3. And then again, doing some more math. We're going to do 4 times pi, 3.1416 times 343, which is equal to 4,310.275. And I'm going to be using decimal points to get as close as I possibly can to the actual number. All right, and for the sphere, we're going to use that and divide that by 3. So our volume for our sphere, total volume, is 1,436.7584, and that's cubic feet. So that is the volume of our sphere. That's the first part done. So now we need to figure out next, what is the volume of our cylinder? And the formula I'm going to be using for the volume of our cylinder is volume equals B times H, whereas B is the area of a circle and H is the height of the tank. Now, to break this down, the area of a circle has a formula of all its own. So we're basically plugging in the formula from the area of a circle into this formula to give us our volume. So it'll actually, volume of the cylinder. The volume is equal, the area of a circle formula is area equals pi times the radius squared. So putting it all together, volume equals pi times radius squared times the height of the tank. And the height of the tank, we're going to be using the length without our sphere attached to it, which our length is 28 feet. So let's go ahead and plug in some numbers. All right, change the color of our text so it'll match what we're doing. Volume equals area of a circle. So our pi is 3.1416 times our radius squared. What is our radius? Well, we know our diameter is 14, and radius equals diameter times 2. So it actually go from the center out. So half of 14 is 7. So 7 squared. And I'm going to put it in parentheses to spell it out. 7 times 7 times the height of our tank, which is the length, times 28. So now let's go ahead and do some math. Equals pi 3 times 1416 times 49, which is 7 times 7 times 28. And just go ahead and multiply that up. And again, Using a calculator, just go ahead and plug in these numbers. It's 4,310.2752. Hey, we saw that number before. It's over here, but that's not actually the number of our sphere because we divided by 3. But this is the total volume of our cylinder, and that would be in cubic feet. So are we done yet? Do we have our total volume for our cylinder, our tank here? Not quite. We still have to come down and figure out. And well, I'm just going to come over here and do this on the right because I'm going to do some basic math. All right. What is the total volume of our tank? So it's just some basic math. We need to add these two volumes, this one and this one. So it'll be 143.6.758.584 plus 4310.2752. And that's going to equal out to be 5,747.0336 cubic feet. That is the total size of our tank in cubic feet. But are we done? It's not asking for cubic feet, it's asking for barrels. So we have to do some actual conversions here. So cubic feet. Well, we also know that 1 cubic foot right up is equal to 7.48 gallons of liquid. So that's a simple computation. So we're just going to multiply we're going to multiply 5747 0.0336, multiply that times 7.48, and that's going to give us our total in how many gallons this tank can actually hold, which is 42,987.81133 gallons is what our tank could hold. But we're still not done because it wants barrels. So we can go ahead and convert our gallons to barrels. Well, how many gallons are in a barrel? 42. There are 42 gallons in one barrel. So that's simple. We're just going to divide 42,987.81133. We're going to go ahead and divide that by 42. And that gives us 1,023.519317. All right. Our text actually gives us 1,024 point, I think it was 3 that it gave us barrels. So here, according to my computations, I'm within a barrel of the size. So in this size tank, 1 barrel is pretty close, I would say. So that's actually the end of it. Thank you.